The old boomerang, she got her. Well, it's that time, folks. Dragging them out. We got to fix the old hot rod. Welcome back to the Ben and Rush YouTube channel. Another How Tuesday in the books for you coming up. We got ourselves a 2006 Chevy Malibu. Now, we know she's a race car, and this thing has been beat. So if you're unaware and you're new to the channel, my name is Brian. We do a lot of hobby shop type stuff by working on race cars, lifted blazers, and LS swaps. So, now that you're caught up with that, this is my son's unit here we put together last year on the channel. Yeah, he's raced it I think 3 times now, and he took a hard hit to the right. Let me try to put in perspective for you how bad that is.
Hello, mate. How are ya?
She's got some lean going, guys. So today's challenge, we're actually racing, would be next Friday. So here in a couple days we'll be taking this unit out to Aranet County Fairgrounds. We got this car, we have my unit, my 06 Grand Prix, and then we're also getting our buddy Kevin's car ready to go too, so that'll be popping up. I don't know if it'll be in this video or not, but you'll see it at the racetrack anyways. So yeah, what we're gonna do today, we're gonna show you how to do the rear trailing arms on this. We showed you the parts just a few moments ago. All right, so, couple trailing arms. So on this car here, that's what keeps the tire straight. This is not a rear strut car. This has a coil spring. So what we're doing, these items here got bent in conjunction with the shock. So we got to get that straightened out. Another buddy of ours, Bert's coming over. He's been in a few race videos with us before. We're going to see if we can bore a hole or blow a hole in here with a torch. Maybe stick a bar through there and see if we can pull out this rear quarter panel too, because she's got a little of that drop ass going here, you know. So we got to see if we can work on that. But on that note, we're going to get this thing up in the air and show you how bad it really is, because we haven't seen it either. She came off the track like that, and it's been parked since last fall. Let's get her in the air. Well, friends, this thing is pretty freaking torched. We can see the one arm is bent all the way in. And then the other little link bar, this one may not be actually bent. I don't know. That could be just because the bushing's torqued up. We're gonna see, and I'm hoping this larger one, oh shit, it is too, look at that. Maybe it's just the bushing torque. We're hoping. But yeah, she's got some twist going. And the shock, of course. Now, obviously, these cars here, we don't, you know, they don't get the best treatment. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty neglected, to be honest with you. As long as they got brakes, and it's fairly solid and safe, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Gavin's pulling this tire off real fast, and then that way we can access that. I see we gotta get to one of the bolts up top, so we'll show you that trick here in just a hot second. Let's get this tire out of the way. Man, oh man, you really see it now. That shock is rough. Look at that thing. Once I get it off there, guys, I'll show you. That thing is tweaked really hard. But I think that took the majority of the problem. This thing here, we should be able to twist. We got a big pipe wrench, or we can use definitely some backyard tricks, of course. But that other trailing arm is huge, so we're gonna work on that. We're gonna lower this down, give you a little better angle. Kids, I tell you, you know, you can't have nice things. All right, so I just noticed the coil springs broke. I think we might have one laying around, but these cars are really common. The Cobalts, these Malibus, Saturn Auras, whatever, they're kind of like a Malibu. It seems like all these things, they break that lower coil off. For us, is it the end of the world? Probably not, but I'm gonna make sure. I think I might have one though, just in our pile. We tend to, our buddy at the junkyard tends to hook us up with extra parts and stuff when we need it, but we're just trying to get it done today. We wanna get this video over Tuesday for you. We're probably gonna pull my Grand Prix in and give that a once over as well. So basically though, the idea is just to prep them to get them going. Obviously you figured that, but okay, let's see here. Now, before you pull that, Gavin, here, let me show you. So something for you guys to think about. You always want to support the lower control arm. The biggest thing is, with these, obviously, what's gonna happen if we pull that shock bolt out? That whole control arm is gonna potentially swing down, coil can go flying, whatever. So make sure you always put a stand under, or a floor jack if you're working on the ground, you know. And you're gonna see Gavin working a lot more on this is his hot rod. You know, we're trying to teach him young. You know, that way they can work on their own shit when they get older, right? 21 on the backside. So you have an 18 up top, 21 on the bottom. And this could be a shock replacement too on your, you know, 06 Malibu or whatever, you know, Cobalt. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, this thing is rough. Holy shit. Here, let me let me grab a new one here, hold on.
I said, well, you ain't that straight.
Man, that is rough. Figured I'd show you that real quick. All right, so we're holding the one end. We're gonna go ahead, there's a bolt right here. Looks like a 21 on this side and a 21 there. That's for that upper control arm. All right, so in our situation, it's gonna be easier to unscrew it out all the way at the impact. Hey, back to straight. Okay, so the other one for that upper wishbone, or control arm, whatever you want to call it. So that is another, that might be an 18 actually. So the problem is with that, dude, is it's tucked way in there. So for us to get to it, we're gonna have to, let me get a better light for you guys. Pretty much stick an open end wrench in there, or a box end, and then hopefully it's not seized in that bushing. If that's the case, we're gonna have to get in there with a Sawzall, and then we can basically cut the fastener in half on both sides, pluck it out of there and put a new bolt in it. So I was looking at this front one here, we were thinking this one was bent, but honestly, I don't, maybe. It might have been a little bit, it could be. But pulling that loose straightened it out quite a bit. So I think it's gonna be all right. So let's see if we can fish another bolt out real quick. All right, so basically we have a 18, we got a combination wrench on one end, we got our extension and a swivelly, so let's see what happens. All right, got her loose. Now the biggest thing, hopefully you get lucky, or we get lucky I should say, and that damn bolt comes through there. Oh yeah, she is moving. All right, we're having a tough time getting that out of there, so I'm gonna lower the control arm, or the whole assembly down. Plus we're gonna see if we can replace that coil spring too, but it's gonna give us a little more accessibility to get in there. It is kind of a tight fit to get to that fastener. So at that point, the more out of our way, the better. Plus I'll be able to show you that spring on how that's broke. Now unhook your ABS wire. For us, it doesn't matter because we don't run ABS on these cars, but if you are watching this for information on your 06 Chevy Malibu, make sure you disconnect that. All right, we fished that bolt out of there. By the way, it's kind of a pain in the ass. The ABS harness runs right along it, so trying to push that bolt out, or push it out is tough, but wait till you see this unit. Look at that thing. Grab that real quick here, bud. So wait till you see the other one. I mean, we, you know, we tightened the V.
That's what she said.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so the old boomerang, she got her. So we're not gonna mess with that other one. I was really debating, and this car is pretty rough, and I just have a feeling it won't come out of there. So I think I'm just gonna put this one back in real quick. We got some other stuff to check out too anyways. But also you'll notice this brake hose is kind of taunt. Now definitely take that into consideration when you're dealing with that, because you may want to either, you know, we're trying to change that coil spring. I'll probably have to pull the caliper loose if I have one. If I don't have one, well, we're just gonna send it with what we have because of what it is. But if your car obviously is broken, you'll wanna pull your caliper off to lower it down far enough to pull your spring out to put it back together. Let's get this thing in. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the bolt in backwards. That way the nut is on the inside. It's gonna be easier, I think, to put it back together. Kind of a pain in the butt to push the bolt the other way. So if I can get another pair of needle nose, you know, kind of hold the nut up there. But we'll show you how it looks. Let's get this thing pushed in here. It should go back in just like factory, because you know we are just putting it back together like factory. So it should be fine, I hope. All right, so put it in retrospect, you can see what I did. I just flipped the bolt around. So it's the same result. It's just easier to get that bolt back in. It's real tough to fish it through from the front side. And then another thing, kind of a little cheating trick I like to do, because you obviously want to tighten these things up at ride height, but we're not going to do that, at least on the inboard one. So I'll probably leave it up like this and then tighten it, and then I can push down on the bushing to set it up with this one. And now this one here, we'll go ahead and tighten at ride height, just because it'll be easier to get to, unlike that top one. So do as you wish, but you definitely, with rubber bushings, you always want to make sure you're tightening them up in the ride height position, just so you don't have premature failure. So let's get this thing blasted tight, and then we can go ahead and see if we got a spring and assess that real quick. All right, go ahead and bump that up. Haha, score. We did have one. How freaking awesome. So, normally they'd come in a 2-pack. I know, like you buy a Moog or something like that. So for us, obviously we got a used one from another car we worked on at one point in our lifetime. So what we're gonna do this now, you see we have the upper control arm loose, the shock is off. What's holding it right now is that brake caliper hose. So we got a couple 15s or 14s or whatever. We're gonna pull the caliper off. That'll allow this thing to completely drop out. That way we can put the new spring in, jack it back up, and just repeat steps 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, and get it back together. All right, let's take a look here. So ours are 14s. Yours may be different depending if it's got a different hardware kit. And actually that's, man, moving just right. Dang. There we go. So now that we can pull the caliper out of the way, now we can actually let this control arm down. Now the sway bar is gonna fight you a little bit, but a little brute force and ignorance, she'll come right out of there. All right, so pry on your lower control arm, and these are kind of in there, I mean, especially if they've been sitting a while, but with a little bit of leverage, they'll pop right out of here. And don't take a spring to the face. As I might. Can you pry down further?
Yep.
All right. Hey. All right, so here's the lower coil. It's really common for breaking off. You know, would that have caused an issue? It might have been fine for this, but I mean, for you guys on the street, absolutely. If you ever see one of these things come apart, they'll twist up and could puncture your tire. You know, I mean, or you can't haul as much of the good stuff. You know, whatever you need to do. But make sure you transfer these rubber grommets, and then we're gonna go ahead and reinstall it real quick here, but pretty straightforward. You just pull the shock loose, obviously, in the control arms, and you could pull apart more to make it easier. Like if we were to pull the sway bar link off, we wouldn't have fought that either, but if you're by yourself, definitely take more stuff loose. It makes it easier, but I got a couple guys helping, so let's get it back together. All right, it does take a little effort, but a little bit of help, but you'll get her. All right, after 2 men and a baby, we finally got it. So basically, we're gonna wanna take this control arm back up, and then we can start reconnecting everything. So caliper, we'll do that in a minute here. And then we'll fight with that upper control arm mount, and then a shock. Go. All right, so we got her jacked up to ride height, or at least close to it. Okay, all we got left is our shock, and put our caliper on. This side is done. I think you always hand check those as well. Like I said, this car isn't as important to us just because of what it is, but I want to make sure it's at least safe. And get your shock back up in there. Again, we're putting a new one on because of what this gem is. All right, get your bolt in, and these shocks, a little bit of effort, they'll go up. Get your bolt started. Send her home. That looks way freaking better. Look at that thing on the ground, she'll look mint. What do you think, bud?
Much better.
So you ask yourself, why are we running these donut tires in the rear? So realistically, for us doing these front wheel drive bumping runs and stuff, short tracks, it's all preference by all means, because I'm sure if you guys are watching and do this kind of stuff, you have your own opinion. But if you're just watching to watch, we run the donut tires because basically the tail of these cars, it almost works like a rudder. They're real narrow, they dig in corners and stuff like that. But also, we only really need the rear tires to roll. So they're less likely to pop, and if they do, they just tag along, right? So that's one of the main reasons we run them. Now on big tracks, if we get into big dirt tracks, you'll see a lot of guys will run larger tires. Again, preference. Yeah, just for ground clearance and stuff too. But for us, these seem to work out really well. Plus they're throwaways at the junkyard. So that is why you see that we tend to run these on the back of our cars. So All right, so I think, you know, we'll probably just maybe blow a hole right here or something like that, and then run a pipe through it. And that way we can wrap a chain around it and kind of pull this quarter panel out. Now, is it necessary? No, because we, you know, we did get the tire out. The biggest reason, how do you put fuel in it? Aha, we can figure that out. But honestly, it shields the tire more, hopefully. And then it's not as big of a, I don't know. If you've seen that, that's the first thing you want to drive into, right? It's tires hanging right out, let's disable them. We don't want to have to put another control arm on it, but it's part of the game. So let's back her out, and then we're gonna see if we can knock a hole in this unit and use my car to pull it. First, we're going to 2 pieces of metal. So, this is kind of the idea. You can lash me in the comments, but as long as it works, it'll be okay. So realistically, it's gonna pull the pipe. The pipe is gonna not go through the hole. We got it tied right to the, you know, through the trunk. We'd have to rip the whole trunk off. It looks safe, it'll be fine. What's the worst gonna happen? So, we're gonna go ahead and give that thing a jerk real fast. Let's see how she works. Ready?
Yep. Go ahead. Didn't look like it budged.
I didn't move at all, did it?
Nope.
What the hell? All right, it didn't work out like I was hoping. Or am I hitting it hard enough? One of the two.
That's what she said.
Man. What'd it do to my car? Is it doing all right?
It's
Oh,
it's
that's
cutting right
good. That's fine. It's fine. All right, we're gonna give her another shot here, and then we got the sledgehammer. We're trying, like I said, we're just trying to get that quarter panel knocked out, but really anything's better than nothing at this point. So I'm gonna give her a couple more slams with the hammer, and then probably send it. I was hoping it was gonna be a little more. It's worked better, I guess, in general. So. Well, friends, we got this unit back together. We did the best we could. I mean, it's all right. It's all right. It's still not nearly where it needs to be, but it's gonna do what it needs to do. It's gonna go down the track. It's got a coil spring. The tire's straight. It's glorious. Just gotta strap the hood down, and that fresh unit there, she's ready to go. Oh, you see, you're still ripping. We fixed it right after we did the Whittemore Speedway race anyways. So on that note, guys, we're gonna wrap up this How Tuesday with that. We're showing you how to put a control arm on this. And I appreciate you for tagging along. Make sure you like, subscribe, share all the good stuff. We'll see you on the next one.